Everybody. I thought it would be really fun to share with you guys my thoughts on the Furious 7, the recent Fast and the Furious movie, because it's so outside of my normal kind of wheelhouse of viewings. So I thought it would be sort of a different perspective of somebody who doesn't normally like these kind of movies. And I have to say, it is absolutely, without a doubt, one of the most ridiculous movies I have ever seen. It it makes some of the crazy scenes in various James Bond movies look subtle. It makes the previous 6 movies look subtle. It's so over the top. But I have to say, I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And I kept thinking, why is this better than a Michael Bay movie with crazy explosions and over-the-top action? And what makes this better? And I think what it is that in a Michael Bay movie, his humor comes across wrong every time. Like, he just, it's so usually pretty, like, awkward and uncomfortable. And Transformers movie, the humor about the daughter, that was awkward, and the weird boyfriend, and he tends to have really off-putting humor. And so that doesn't help. And also, he kind of expects like a certain degree of reverence and awe over his explosions and characters, and he expects this kind of like big moment and you to be kind of invested in it, and so it just ends up coming off as just obnoxious. Whereas in this case, they don't expect any of that. They know it's ridiculous. They know it's over the top. They have these ridiculous one-liners that they'll stop before the fight or before the crazy car scene and say, I wish I'd had pen and paper because I'd written down some of these one-liners that were so hilarious. And it was just all so over the top, and they know it is, and they have fun with it, and they don't try to, they have no sort of pretension, which I think you actually get in a Michael Bay film. So I think that is why this is better. I thought it was a lot of fun. I laughed a lot, and there's just scenes where you're like, and my whole theater was laughing. Everyone was laughing at some of these action scenes. They're so ridiculous. And I mean, there's scenes, I kind of wish that the trailer hadn't shown you some stuff, because it's so kind of part of the fun of it is being like, no way, they're not really going to do that, are they? And so since you saw it in the trailer, like, normally I don't care about spoilers, but I do think it's sort of part of the fun of it is seeing like, they aren't really going to try to like do that, are they? And there's just this insane scene where they literally like hop buildings with a car. They go from like one skyscraper to the next skyscraper to the next skyscraper. There's this extended set piece where they are on a mountain, and there's just one crazy car chase down this mountain after another, and people are on top of the cars. There's so many scenes where characters fly out of cars, and there's this great scene where The Rock, who's not in the movie enough, that's definitely a flaw, he's only in the movie for about 15 minutes, but there's this great scene where he's like, he knows that like the team needs him, and he's in a hospital with a broken arm, and he's like, screw this, and and he's just like focuses his energy. He's like, "Rrr," and it's like Credible Hulk or something. And like the cast on his arm like just like starts falling off like in pieces, like, and it made me laugh so hard. It was so ridiculous. And I think they want you to laugh. Like, I think it's done in a fun spirit. It's done in a light spirit that makes it really entertaining. And unlike, I think the closest that Michael Bay got was actually in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, which had some of that funness, and I had some good action scenes. But the problem was, it was so poorly edited that I had no idea who they were fighting, where they were, how they got there, what was going on. And even in like an absurd action film, you still need at least a thin modicum of like who are they fighting and what are they trying to get. You just need that. I need to have like basic questions answered. And especially it was frustrating with Ninja Turtles because it was like they have such an awesome villain and it was Shredder, so cool, and they didn't use him at all. Like he was just a non-entity hardly in the movie. And so this had a really good villain with Jason Statham. He was really, really good and really tough, and they're trying to get this MacGuffin device that will connect to, called the God's Eye, that will connect to every mobile device in the world. And they try to find this hacker who then has who knows where the God's Eye is, and they're trying to get it for this guy, Mr. Nobody, who's played by Kurt Russell, and they're trying to get that so that then the Kurt Russell character, Mr. Nobody, will help them to be able to defeat Shaw, the Jason Statham character. So that's basically the story, the plot. And they kind of go all over the place. They're in Abu Dhabi. They're in, I think it's Venezuela at first, somewhere in Latin America. There's crazy fights. There's crazy car scenes. And I would say I think they handled the Paul Walker thing amazingly well. Like I would not have known that he had died if I hadn't already known. And I guess they used CGI. I guess they used some shots from the other movies. I guess they used his brothers at times to fill in, but it was flawless. I thought it was very seamless. And I mean, it was kind of amazing. Like, how did they get that line in that way? And they just rewrote it really well. I recommend the movie. I gave it a B-. I think it's a little too long. I think they don't use The Rock enough, and I think some of the low angle booty shots of the women got a little old after a while. The movie loves the the booty shot, and I got a little tired of that after a while. But at least, like, as opposed to a Michael Bay movie where the women do nothing, at least like the women in this movie like did stuff, and they actually fought, and they had their own character, and they had some different personalities, and so I liked that, that they were actually pretty cool. And so I think all in all, if you're just looking for a really ridiculous fun time at the movies where you can laugh and you can enjoy some crazy action, then this is a good movie for you. And I don't think so if you're a guy and you're wondering, can I take my girlfriend to this movie? I don't normally like these kind of movies, and I enjoyed it. So take that for what you will. And if you're a girl thinking, I don't normally like these kind of movies, maybe give it a shot. Try something new, and you might have fun. So that's my feeling on it. I gave it a C as far as content because of some of the violence and the tension and the booty shots. But I gave it a B- as far as overall grade. So let me know what you think. Did you see it? And what did you think? It's not as good as 5 and 6, which are more of like heist movies, and this is more of just sort of a generic action film, kind of spy with a little spy elements in there. So I'd be curious if any of you have seen it. Let me know what you think. So thanks.